Brothers and sisters, happy to be here. Very happy to be before you again today. As you can see, I pulled duty all night, so I hadn't had a chance to shave on this day. But I'm thankful still to be here. Thankful to be here, and I know I'm apologizing for my appearance a lot lately, but peace, dear sister Donna. Glad to see you. I know that I'm apologizing for my appearance a lot. Yes, and it has grown on my face so fast. Um, I have to shave 3 times a day, as I told you before. I don't use that as an excuse, but it does get pretty hectic having to shave it. So I want to apologize for that, always. I have to get in the place of being able to polish myself, make the time for it, in between staying patient, make the time for it in between the other work that I have to do in the programs that we have. We have programs that can limit me from being able to do that too. So got to work on that. Got to get tighter on scheduling and get tighter on my personal appearance, because this isn't normal part of my habitat. It isn't a normal habit for me to let myself go in this way. So I just want to say that. I want to ask for forgiveness. Thank you in advance for your mercy in forgiving me. And so we have a very, very powerful lesson today. Very, very powerful lesson that we're dealing with today, as we talk about this Black liberation theology and what we need. What we need. You and I are in need today, brothers and sisters, whether we know it or not. We're in need. We're in heavy need, as a matter of fact. And our desire, the needs that we have, can't be fulfilled with brothers, excuse me, brothers and sisters. It can't be fulfilled with brothers and sisters belly mouth. It can't be fulfilled with brothers and sisters tiptoeing through the tulips. It won't be handled with brother and sisters dealing unholy with one another. It won't happen. God has called us. You have to understand that. God has called us to this work that we're doing. It's because of God that we have this work. God has called us to start the work, and we've got to be obedient to God. I tell you what, we're in a time now where men will not endure sound doctrine, brothers and sisters. They won't do it. Now, you can ask me why. I think there's a myriad of reasons as to why, but it is clear that we won't endure sound doctrine. And that may sound like a religious word to you, but when I say sound doctrine, or when the term sound doctrine is used, all this means is that we've entered a period where black people have become lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of themselves, right? And also to that, they become lovers of themselves in the place of God. So these are two things we have working against us. We've got to get in order. We've got to get it in order. And we got to fight, you know. Tell people, I've heard one brother say, brother, why don't you keep doing the show? You say, you think it's making any difference? It's still making a difference. Even if it's only touching me, it's making a difference. And I have enough common sense to know that the truth has to be there for somebody to discover. Right? You may be here, or I may be dead and gone. You may be here. But you'll remember these days. And I may be here, within the next 60 or 70 years. Together, we may grow old and remember these days. And at that time, right, somebody may ask, right, what was going on, what we were thinking about, what we were doing when we were building this show. And I say we because you as the pillars are helping us build this show. You're helping us. We're making history right now. Rebuilding the work and the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Work and the teachings of black brothers and sisters that have invested time into speaking the truth. You and I are doing that today. We're doing it today, brothers and sisters. And you have to understand that you're planting a seed. You have to water it first. You got to water it. If you don't water it, if you don't care for it, if you don't cultivate it and protect it, then the seed can grow up to the place where it could function on its own. And you got to understand that. So we are in the race to make sure that the seed grows, right? You and I. So when we meet here, excuse me, brothers and sisters, when we meet here, our living is not in vain. Isn't that right? Our teaching is not in vain. Because when we talk about black liberation theology, because that's what we're talking about, and if you're not talking about black liberation theology, you're not talking at all. You have to understand that. And, excuse me, the truth is that way. I'm battling this allergy. The truth is that way. That when you speak the truth, right, it'll do two things. First, it touches the people, right? It takes the time to get there. It takes it a long time to get there. But finally, when it touches the people, it has a touch of remnant. When I say remnant, I mean it has a touch of few select people, elect people. And then after that, then it spreads abroad. And I think I'm safe in saying that, because when you look at any religion that was started, you find it, and you'll begin to see, like I'm telling you, that it started from a remnant, and it was hard to get up. When you listen to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, when you listen to his teaching, when you listen to the teachings of Christianity, when you listen to it, you'll find out that it took it a while to get up. Took it a while. It didn't just come up immediately. It took it a while to get up. The truth had gotten there. The truth was there. But it took it a while to take off. Once it took off, it took it a while to get there, but once the truth got there, the truth was there. And the minute that the truth got there, couldn't nobody do nothing about it. Right? So I tell you, brothers and sisters, to be encouraged. Don't be moved by crowds. I'm telling you. I already know all about it. I know all about it. You can't be moved by crowds. Because the minute you start to be moved by crowds, it's at that point that you begin to fail. When you're moved by crowds. Peace be unto you, Brother Bruce. Peace. Glad to see you here tonight. And so we can't be concerned about crowds when we put out the truth. We can't be concerned about the effects on our friends, right? Our white friends. I said white friends because I know there are people out there that believe that the white man is their friend. And I wouldn't dare offend them to say, when I tell them that the white man is not your friend, because they're still lost. They're still caught up. So you can't even tell them that the white man is not their friend. They'll start being friends with you, right? Right? As far as they understand it, because if somebody's your real friend, they'll never stop you, they'll never leave you nor forsake you. And you have to understand that. You got to understand it. You wrap your mind around it, you got to understand it. Brothers and sisters, some people are fair weather and don't even know it. Don't even know it. But they're fair weather friends. But when you find a real friend, a true friend, right? Right? How can two walk together unless they agree? Isn't that what the word says? The word says that. So a friend will walk with you, right? Will walk with you. They believe like you believe, right? Right? And even universally, they know the truth, right? Because the truth convicts them the way it convicts you. That's the truth. And you'll never get by that, because that's what a true friend is, right? So it's nothing for anyone to escape. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It's nothing that anyone can escape, because again, when you have a true friend, right? When he's true. Now, there are a lot of fake friends that don't understand where you're going, don't understand your theology. Because if you're black, you should be concerned about black liberation theology. Is that right or wrong? If you're black. Because our ultimate goal, and we're going to talk about that tomorrow, but our ultimate goal should be black nationalism. So in our religion, we should be talking about black liberation, right? Theology. Let's talk about it. Let's understand what black liberation theology is. Let's understand what it is. When we say black liberation theology, we're talking about a theology dealing with black people. We're talking about identifying the black people in the Bible, which is all of them, right? Because all the prophets were black. And identify the people that these prophets was going to, right? It's our history. So we understand that the prophets were black, but the people that were sending was white. And that God was trying to send Africa to recapture, right, the remnant, right, of albino Africans, right, the albino Afrikaners who produced the Alpinus Africanus. Isn't that right? Right? So the whole history of the Bible, right, even the part that we don't have, because there's a great part of Genesis that we don't have. There's a great part of Exodus that we don't have. There's a great part of Leviticus that we don't have. There's a great part of Numbers that we don't have, right? There's a great part of this that we don't have. These bystanders, right, who were listening to this truth, finding this truth, right, were recording it as they saw it, right? And many of them had copied what the prophets had written before them. Isn't that right? Because in the book of Enoch, which is also connected to the book of Genesis, they didn't even attach it by date or time. But Enoch was right there. Isn't that right? Enoch was right there in the beginning. Right? In the beginning. Now I want you to understand this. In the beginning was the Word. Isn't that right, brothers and sisters? And the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And if you know that black and blackness and black people are older than time, then you already know who God is. I keep telling you that. You know, you look at man, and you get you go across the body. You get your arm, right? Isn't that right? Leg, arm, and head. So already in that, you've got Allah, right? Go with me. Go with me on it. Listen. You got the arm, you got the leg, you got the arm, and you got the head. Already, you're talking about Allah. Already. And the scriptures back it up because they tell us, brothers and sisters, that we were made in God's image and in his own likeness. Now, I can't imagine God being white making a black man. Brothers and sisters, you can get white from black, but you can't get black from white. Oh, I wish I had a witness today. When we talk about black liberation theology, we got to identify blackness in the Bible. You don't have to make it up. Because you open up the Bible, the words are black. You don't hear me. You think this is a mistake? Not a mistake, brothers and sisters. It's the way that the devil hides the truth. He hides it right there in front of you. And you don't even know it. You won't even know it. So the book of Genesis has a period called antediluvian. That's ante, which means first, right? Pre, or before, right? Diluvian, which means the flood. So before the flood, there was knowledge, right, from the Bible. Why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing it up because I know a lot of you trust in the Bible, right? Isn't that right? You trust in the Bible, which the Bible comes from the Quran. Yeah, that's where it comes from. It's always been there. The Quran was written in Africa. That's where it comes from. So you have to understand that there's a battle, right, for truth, to try to understand truth. And the one you're fighting to try to understand what the truth is the white man. And I know you said, well, he sure hate white people. I don't hate him. Hate doesn't enter into it. I don't hate the white man. All I'm doing is telling you that he's lying to you. Right? His money spent like everybody else. If he wants to spend his money to watch you, that's fine. The white man's money spent like everybody else. I'm not a racist. Right? I help anyone. But I just want the truth. I believe in the truth. Because nothing else is going to help us but the truth. Not going to help you, right? And nothing will help me unless it's the truth. The truth will make us free, brothers and sisters. It'll make us free if we speak it. Am I asking you to be perfect? Of course. I'm asking you to do everything perfectly within your will, right? But I'm not asking you to be the pillar of, or rather the site of perfection, because I know you can't do that. I know you can't do that. But am I asking you to be perfectly within your rights? I'm asking you to do that. I'm asking you to exercise who you are as a people, right? Yeah, I'm asking you to do that. And I believe that you can do that. It's my personal belief. I have faith in black people. You'll never hear me talking against black people. I talk against black sellouts. But I still call them brothers. Right? I'm still calling them brothers. Not acting like brothers. Right? They're not acting like brothers, but I'll still refer to them as brothers. Now, they may be your brothers and not my brothers. But I'll still talk about them as being brothers. Right? I'll do that because I have enough sense to know that they're misguided. And if they allow themselves to be put back on the right track, they'll do the right thing. I already know that. I know that. Even if they don't know it, I know it. Right? Because too often do we, as black people, put ourselves into situations, brothers and sisters, where we are selling ourselves out. And we don't have to do it. We don't have to do it. But it's happening, and I have to look at the preacher. Have to. There's a big difference in a preacher and a minister. Totally different. You have a lot of preachers, right? You have a lot of preachers. A lot of them are not even in the church, right? A lot of them are not in the mosque. Isn't that right? Not in the mosque, not in the church. Because when you talk about a preacher, as somebody, the white man said in front of you, when you go on the plantation, right? We use the term loosely, right? When we say preachers and things of that nature. When you go on the plantation and you see the preacher is the one that's going, because that's what he is. The preacher is a fetcher, right? He's a stepping fetcher, right? One of the greatest on this plantation. One of the greatest stepping fetchers that you find. Because he would step and fetch everything for his master, right? And this still happening today. There's no way, I'm sure you would agree with me, that somebody like Al Sharpton could have made it to the height that he's made it, right? With no real credentials. None whatsoever, brothers and sisters. The man has no real credentials. The man has no knowledge. The man has a crooked politics. He himself is crooked. And the person that brought him up there is crooked. Oh, yes. Brothers and sisters saying now, don't talk about Barack Obama, brother. You just said that you wouldn't talk about black brothers and sisters. I'm not talking about him. I'm just educating you on him. He's still my brother and yours too. However much we don't want him to be. Right? There's some people that I would not like to claim as brothers. Right? Some you wouldn't like to claim as sisters. I'm sure there is. But Barack Obama is still my brother, no matter how twisted and cracked up and drugged up he is. Oh yeah, talk about your man. You didn't even know, did you? Yeah. And every other president that's ever come to the office, all of them are coking and drugging together. Brothers and sisters, so much you don't know. So much you don't know. But I'd vote for a black crackhead before I vote for a white sober man, because I know they don't exist. I already know it. Right? You can't get into that office being clean. Can't do it. Right? I would hate the fact that brothers and sisters are on drugs. I hate it. Right? But this is the truth hour. This is what we got to speak. We've got to tell the truth. Shame the devil and put some people before us, righteous people. We don't have to do it from the political office. We can do it right in our community. We don't need them in political office. You get the preacher, or rather the minister, right? Because there's a big difference in preacher and minister, right? And we're going to talk about a minister, right? Then we're going to talk about black liberation theology. But I want you to understand that ministers belong in churches. Their administration run the community. I want you to understand that. It doesn't matter where they come from, right? If they receive the education, I'm not talking about in some white man's college. I know all about that. know all about that. That is a diploma. It's a degree, but it's not an education. You had an education before you even went. The only difference is that a lot of us don't know it. Thank you, brother. A lot of us just don't know it. But we've had these things well ahead of time. Well ahead of time. But it's time for us now to put it into practice. And we got to put into practice black liberation theology. We have to, brothers and sisters. We have too many black preachers and all of them selling us out. Our sisters can come inside of any a church. They won't come in any temple that I'm at or any church that I'm at without me telling one of the mothers to hug them and then wrap a tablecloth around them. That's right, brothers and sisters. I don't go for all that. I don't go for all that. I don't want to see no sister burying her soul. That's what you're doing. That's exactly what you're doing. I don't want to see no brother with no sagging pen. We got to pull them up. First, we got to pull up their minds, brothers and sisters, make them respect themselves. Then after that, we got to pull up. Once we pull up their minds, then they will pull up their pants. But until they do, we got tablecloths we can put around them when you come in the temple or come in any place that I'm teaching at. They're going to have to put a tablecloth on them. That's just the way it is. So we have to teach, reteach pride. We reteach excellence in the black community. We've got to do that. You and I have to do that. We don't have a choice. We don't have a choice. We have to do that. So this is our desire and our prayer that we can reach these individuals on the level where they are and show them better of how to combat a lot of the situations that they find themselves in. Whether it be a drug situation or whatever it may be, they're going to need a minister. They don't need a preacher. Told you, there's a difference between preacher and minister. Preachers can be used by white people. They can be used by black people too, and they can be dirty. If you get the difference in a preacher and a minister, is that a minister is not going to sell drugs in his community because he understands his position, right? He understands. See, there's words that the white man has taken out of context ever since he's been copying your Bible, and he'll take little by little, stop changing stuff. That's what he does. In the liberation that you and I truly had, he'll start changing stuff. Brothers and sisters, when I believe it's the book of Peter that said, how can the people hear without a teacher? Right? Without a teacher. But the white man changed it to preacher. Because that's somebody that he's comfortable with. Right? And if he's comfortable with it, then we can't be comfortable with it. If he is, we can't be. But the term is really, how can the people hear without a minister? And how can a minister minister unless he's been sent to minister? That's the actual phrase. But the white man changes it, right? And he does it for a reason. You look, and he says it's about slaves. That's why I tell you, Christianity makes slaves. Right? When they came on the plantation, right, scratching, right? First they were confused, really confused. Then it became a part of their vernacular because the minute that the black child saw the adult black man or the adult black woman, the minute that he saw them respond this way to the white man, then psychologically they believed that this is the way they began to respond. And this is how it became a phenomenon, right? A natural habit on a mass scale, right? For these white Jesuses to be on these black walls. Isn't that right, brothers and sisters? Right? We're talking about black liberation theology, so I want you to understand that the white man ain't going to teach you no black liberation. You better understand that. The white man, when he have his Jesus, on his wall he have his Jesus. On his wall, he's got a white Jesus, because he's white. Right? He put a white Jesus in front of you because there was an extension of his psychological grasp and power over you. Right? He was already holy and religious, while you had Christianity and about 44 other different religions, or rather not religions, denominations. attached to Christianity, right, and attached to Islam right in Africa. And all of you all served together. All of you all came together. If you look at when Peter spoke on the day of Pentecost, right, it said that everyone heard as if they heard in their own language. Isn't that right? So either the Holy Spirit will give you an interpreter, or there'll be people to interpret the same message, right? In actuality, there were people to interpret the message that was happening, that was going on in front of them, right? To let everything be done decently and in order. They had interpretations and interpreters in that day. That's right. They did. It's not strange to know that prophets could speak several different languages. This is nothing new. But when he tells it to you, he puts the Bible, he uses it as a book of sorcery over you, right? Because he's changed it to the way that he can use it when he's teaching you white nationalism. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The man has been tricking you the entire time. The entire time he's been tricking you. Because that's what he does. But for us, we need black liberation theology, right? Here we are, people that were taken from their land and taken to a land that we knew not, given a God that we did not know. Isn't that right? Right? In the old world, they even had the Madonna, right, and the child that were black, Ethiopian. The Pope in the Vatican kisses a replica of the black Jesus on his feet. Right? That's what he does. But you get here in America, they talk about a white Jesus. And the rest of the world go right along with it. Right? Because these are his friends. The white man, he different friendship what he talks about rather than what you talk about. Oh yes, he does. When the white man says friend, he said mean boss or ally in corruption, right? Because he's corrupt. You must admit that he's corrupt. And then somebody saying, well, every white person isn't corrupt. I agree. Every white person is not corrupt. I agree. There may be one or two out of every billion that isn't corrupt. Right? Right? Maybe. Surely. Every prison, every felon that's serving time in prison isn't guilty. Is that right or wrong? Peace, Brother Derek. Is that right or wrong? Yeah. Every felon that's arrested in prison is not guilty. Some of them in there are actually innocent. But you might find one out of every 100. Right? Right? You may find one out of every 100 felons that isn't guilty. Right? But most of them, right, 9 times out of 10 are guilty. So you have 1 out of every 10 that may not be. You may have 1 out of every 100 that may not be, to give them a fair shake. Right? I want to be fair. Right? But the prison, right, is full of people that are guilty. So I said the same thing about the white man. Right? You may say, well, the white man, he's not guilty. You know, all of them are not evil. I say, okay, you're right. You're right. All of them are not evil. But if you had 1 million bees, I talk about the bees. I'm going on a show one day on just talking about the bees. Right? Right? Isn't that right? I'm going to do a show one time to talk about it. Right? Because I have to explain it. If you had 1 million bees, right? And somebody said, hey, brother. And the person talking to you got a bee uniform on. They got a bee outfit on to protect them from the bees, right? Netting and all. And they say, hey, brother, all those bees are not bad. All of them don't have stingers, right? Now here this guy is telling you this, right? And they got a bee outfit on. Isn't that right? Right? He's telling you all this with a bee outfit on. And he's on the sidelines, and these bees, no matter how much they try to sting him, they ain't going to get in that outfit. But he's telling you this, right? And here you go, you ain't got no bee outfit on or nothing. There's like a billion bees after you. And his brother said, look, says it's 1 million bees inside of that billion that don't have stingers. You taking a chance because of what he's telling you. You already taking a chance. But hell, even if I did believe it, and I don't, I wouldn't waste my time wading through 1 billion dangerous bees to get into those million bees that may not have stingers. Huh? That's right. And you wouldn't either, brothers and sisters, because you got more sense than that, and I know you do. Right? So you say every white man is bad. Well, I don't know that. But I do know every white man is racist. They may not act on it, but all of them are racist. Right? By default. Isn't that right, brothers and sisters? Right? They're racist by default. And what does that mean? They're racist by default because when you find a white man, you can hardly trust him, and you know that he'll bag up or verify another white man, even if he's quote unquote on the other side. He's going to always bag up that other white man. That's a fact. He's going to bag him up every chance he gets. Right? It's going to happen. So I don't worry. I won't do it. You know, about taking a stand and having to take the low road and many times walk alone. I won't worry about it because I already know if you ain't got the sense to know that you're in this condition because all white men put a stamp on racism, then I know soon you will wake up and know. Soon you'll wake up and know. And I tell you why. You're going to wake up and know it because this man is killing you right now. He's sending out the white trash to kill you right now. This is what he's doing. And pretty soon, even the white friend of the black man is going to start killing him too. You know, just like you got the Republicans and you got Democrats, right? I want to say this. You bear with me. You got a Republican and a Democrat. I told you one is a fox and the other one is a wolf. Told you. Tell you all the time. One is a fox, the other one is a wolf. Then they said a white independent. The white independent is a snake. Right? You can't run. You can't go nowhere. Because you know you go out of that arms of that fox right into the arms of a bloody jawed wolf, and then you're going to have a sharp-fanged snake that's staring at you when you call yourself going to the white independent. There's nowhere that you and I can run, brothers and sisters. You can run, you ain't got no hiding place. I said you ain't got no hiding place, right? You ain't got no hiding place. So I want you to understand that you're in this situation today, you're in this situation now because every white man agrees with racism. And even the ones that didn't agree have made so much money off of it. Oh, I wish I had somebody to pray with me today. I said he made so much money in this administration, right? He made so much money. Even the white abolitionists, they always tell you these stories, excuse me, brothers and sisters, tell you these stories about the Quakers. And I listen to brothers and sisters as they talk about it. I really do. There's nothing so disturbing to me that black people have to find one exception amongst white people. There's nothing more disturbing than that to me. Not more disturbing than that to me. And this is the thing that trips me up because, yeah, you may have one white, but you can have a white devil to do something good one day, right? Even the white devils. Look, there was a story one day about the Ku Klux Klan. We're still on Black Liberation Theology because that's what I'm talking to you about. Every show I do is involving Black Liberation Theology. So I just want you to know I'm on point. In the Ku Klux Klan, there's this black fool, right? It's going to say, story going to say the only man that ever interviewed the Ku Klux Klan. As if the Ku Klux Klan is living in the woods and having hoods around their head, right? And that they're living in the woods, like they're hiding out from society. The biggest snow job that's ever been laid, brothers and sisters, the biggest egg, biggest golden egg that the goose has ever laid, right? Right? And so that keeps your eyes off of the police, the white police, keeps your eyes off of the white doctors, keep your eyes off of the white lawyers, keep your eyes off of the white judges and all of them. Yeah. The man tricks you. My God. Man tricks you. He tells you that he's for peace, tells you that he's for justice and equality, right? Even the boy that did, right? The boy that did the killing in New York, right? The mass killing in Buffalo, New York, it just happened, right? It's yesterday's news now because they didn't kill some other young guy, right? Unarmed black man in Akron, Ohio. Shot him 60 times, the police did. So it's old news now, but I still want to talk about it. The young kid that did the killing in Buffalo, New York was talking with a black man before he was doing the job. What does it tell you? You think a devil can't do any good? You think a devil can't be civilized when he has to be? That's the biggest trick in the book. The biggest trick in the book. Look, you find a fox, right? You know a wolf is ferocious, but you find a fox. The fox knows how to appear to be timid. It even knows how to appear to be attractive, right, and cozy. But a fox will lead you down into a bear's den. A fox will lead you down into a bear's den or a fox den or even a wolf's den because he already knows that all of them are from the canine family and eventually he's going to get the scraps. You know he's going to have some food to eat. You know it. They got a opinion for doing it. See, this thing that I want you to know, brothers and sisters, I just want you to know it. You say, I know that you, I seem angry. Not angry. I'm conscious. There's a difference. There's a difference. I'm not some madman. Even though they tell you that in the press, you pull up my name, I don't even hide it. I don't even hide my name. I don't even do it. You know how people go by pseudonyms and all that. I don't even do it. I don't do it no more. Right? I don't even do it. I just go and put my name out there because they said Mauricelm-Lei, it brings up my name anyway. So I just go on and just leave it like it is. Just tell the white man where it is. I'm going to tell him what time it is. I know that you're a devil. Right? And you know that I hunt devils. Right? So we have an understanding. So I already have an understanding because I know the thing that I know is what I want you to know, brothers and sisters. This man don't love you. I'm going to always get around to saying this in whatever show that I'm in. Because I got to tell you. It's my job. My job is to tell you. I don't get paid for it. Right? I don't get paid for it, right? To tell you the truth. Right? You can't buy it. You can't buy it. But I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it until I can't say it again. White man, not your friend. Not your friend. You can hang that up. You can hang it up until it dries. He's not your friend. He's keeping the system alive. Right? He courts you to keep you off guard. Right? But in proof of which, a black man can still be arrested if his white wife says that he rapes him. Should tell you something. What does that tell you? I want to know. See, because it's a trap, a triple trap, a devil's trap, and a quadruple trap for you to think that the white man is your friend, not your friend. And he'll never be your friend, brothers and sisters. I don't care how you cut it. Our brother Bruce says the white boy was taken out the grocery store in Buffalo, New York for nearly a week. It's true. It's true. And he even and tell you how twisted the white man is, just on a grand scale. Probably because the parents are raping them. By the time the white boy and white girl come up, the parents is already having sex with them. As soon as they're born. Right? I'm not just making this up. You can go and find the truth. Find it yourself on the web. Right? Rape associated with white people. But what I wanted to say is this. Our brother just pointed out something. It's true. That this guy is taking out the grocery store in New York, in Buffalo, New York. He's talking with a black man while he's doing it. You say, right? You say all white people are not racist. We have no proof of that. I know some are more cordial than the others, right? Isn't that right? But we have no proof that they're not racist. And Christianity, we talk about black liberation theology, so we got to talk about all of it. Christianity was given to you, right? Pressed down, shaken together, running over. This man took Christianity from your country, your continent, yours and mine, and reshaped it and remolded in such fashion, and then after that he gave it to you. Polished up, bleached. I mean, he bleached the truth. Literally bleached the truth. Polished it up and gave it to you. And our ancestors took it hook, line, and sinker. The sellouts did. Those that weren't sellouts knew better, so they wouldn't do it. But the sellouts among the ancestors, they took this knowledge, caught brothers and sisters, like Joseph's brothers caught him, which was the allegory, right, explaining what would happen to us. They took him, put him in chains, and sold him, right? Sold him to Arab merchants that sold him into Egyptian bondage. And it's crazy because same thing happens to us. Here the white man, right? Supposed to be your brother. He comes from us, right? The albino Africanus, right? Because they come from us. And these albino Africanus created the recessive gene, right? Or more, a deeper recessive gene called the Alpinus Africanus, right? They created them by mating together, right? To get rid of the dark. That's right. They made it together, right? And they got rid of the dark. They threw the dark away. Killed it. Right? And welcome the lighter. You don't hear me. You don't hear me. Right? Right? They continue to mate to build up the population. They threw away all the dark, right? And kept the lighter ones and raised them. Now when they were throwing away these black people, when they were throwing them away, they had were committing cannibalism. So they were eating people back then, eating babies, eating children. You see this in Genesis when you read about Abraham. You read about Abraham in the book of Abraham, you'll see that when Abraham was about to sacrifice his son, it's because the other countries around or the other nations around were sacrificing their kids, the heathen nation. And they were eating their kids. Then in plain English, they were killing them to eat them because there was famine over the land. All the food had run out. The water had gotten low, right? And people had to eat, right? So Abraham goes, he's being tested, right? He said God did it. God didn't do it, right? That's him. That's his way of saying he became at the end of his strength. He began to doubt. Is that right or wrong? He began to doubt. And so he raised up his knife and he's going to kill Isaac. Isn't that right? He's going to kill his son Isaac, the only son that he had, right? His only begotten son. You know where I'm going with it. And so his hand was stayed. The angel stayed his hand and did not allow him to commit that murder, right? So that he would be able, so he would take part in what the other worlds have been doing, or the other nations had been doing. And he said, there's a ram in the bush. Isn't that right? There's a ram in the bush. Brothers and sisters, what I want you to know is that you don't have to go over, right, to sin. Go over to evil. You don't have to go over. You don't have to go over to unrighteousness, unholiness. You don't have to go over there. All you have to do is stand up and carry God with you. That's all you got to do. To stand in holiness and righteousness, right? Because you'll find God there. You'll find God. You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to trust in this white man. Because he's going to teach you everything that is against you. He's giving you Christianity. What are we talking about? Black liberation theology. He's not going to give it to you, right? You got to manifest it, and you got to teach it, and you got to live it, right? You got to practice it. Because black liberation theology means anything that's going to liberate black people. Isn't that right? that's going to liberate us, because we need deliverance. We need to be delivered, and we need deliverance, and we need liberation, right? And so the knowledge that He's given us through white Christianity, we have to do away with it and find God in the middle of the original text and the original writing that God gave to the black man. And for us to do it, we have to know who's teaching the message to the black man, because there's not many people teaching black liberation theology anymore. And you know it's getting bad if the Muslims don't teach it. Oh, brother, you heard what I said. I said when the Muslims start teaching white nationalism like Farrakhan is, you know it's getting bad. Right? Silas Muhammad hadn't bowed one knee to the white man. He's still teaching black liberation theology. And I'm still teaching the philosophy of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Right? And Silas Muhammad is doing the greatest job in the South by keeping the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teaching alive for us, so that you and I will have direction in this darkness. Brothers and sisters, we're in darkness right now. We are in darkness. And we've got to have a religion and practice a religion that talks about us. We can't have a religion that talks about the white man, because what's good for him is not good for us. You got to understand that. You got to understand that. The white man is standing on the sidelines telling you, don't worry about the bees. Don't worry about the billion bees that's following you to sting you. And if you sting you, you may not die. Isn't that right? Every time something happens in the black community, what does the white man say? He say you want to keep peace. Right? He said we got to be peace with one another. He'll ridicule the person who did the killing just a little while, and then it goes away. Then says Martin Luther King said love each other. Jesus said love each other. The man is telling you that Martin Luther King and Jesus said love each other, and the same man is the one that killed Martin Luther King and Jesus. You know that I'm right. You know that I'm right. Brothers and sisters, don't forget to support, because we certainly need it. Don't forget to support our program. We need you to support our program so we can continue to keep up what we do in the community, keep up what we do for our children in the community, keep up all the programs that we have. And as I told you before, we won't leave you without any gift. And I want to tell you that I also have a watch that I would like to give to anyone that wants it. They've created this one brother, say didn't have much to give, but he could create something that would be useful. And the watch we have is a Mauricelm-Lei, the watch. And you can have a copy of that watch. It comes in women and men. And we also have that comes in women and men. And so you're able to have those things if you want it. If you just want one, just let me know, and I'll get it to you. And you won't have to pay for shipping or handling. But I'll get it to you. So we're not asking for your help without giving you something that's dear to us and something that we want you to have. We hope, we'd like for you to have it, because it's our way of saying thanks. So we certainly like for you to have it, and to get this message out so the other brothers and sisters will have this message is important. I'm going to put the link for the book. I'm going to put it down there, and I'm also going to put the link for the watch and the clothing and everything else that you can buy from us and to support us. I'm going to put that down too. Brother Bruce says, Silas Muhammad was decent enough to provide Dr. Khalid with security when Louis Farrakhan abandoned him. Brother, it's the truth. That is the truth. And that's why I said that you and I are running this show, because that's very pertinent. That's very pertinent. Brothers and sisters, I want you to know, right, when we're talking about black liberation theology, Farrakhan disagrees with the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad so much that he abandoned many Muslims. Right? Because a man put him there before. What did he do to Minister Malcolm? He abandoned Minister Malcolm. Is that right or wrong? He did it, whether you admit it or not. There's some people that have gotten on. You heard how they gotten on. And they defend Farrakhan. I won't stop them, because you and I both know that I need all the ratings I can get. So I never stop them. I let them go and make comments. You can go and make whatever comments you want. But you'll never be able to blot out history. You'll never do it. You never blot out history. History is the one thing that you can't blot out. and the man stuck his foot in his mouth when he went against every revolutionary. I mean, if you think of it, I'll tell you that he's had something to say about it. Because he wants to be worshipped. Louis Farrakhan wants to be the man. And he want to be the ultimate, I should say, head nigga in charge. Should I say that? He's working on a plantation. He's working on a plantation. So he wants to be the head nigga in charge. He wants to be. So brothers and sisters, this is real. Dr. Khalid was a black revolutionary theologist. He was a fighter for the black man. I don't have to tell you that. I don't have to tell you that. He fought, literally fought for the black man. He did it. And I already know that without him, this is why we're catching the hell that we catching. Because who are we to turn to? Malik Zuni Shabazz? He's not going to do it. He's an agent. Louis Farrakhan? No, he's an agent. He can't do it. You name any black leader that's out there constantly marching, constantly showing themselves in the public. I mean, at this late date, without organizing something that's going to be helpful to our people, and I'll show you an agent. Right? Because these guys have been before us, have been marching before us, and been showing their face before us all of these years. I mean, all of these years. And we yet have to see anything that they created. Umar Johnson is another one. Yeah, he's another one. And people are still paying this fink to go around the country. I call him a fink, right? Because he's a fink that stinks. So I say fink, right? Umar Johnson is one of the biggest finks ever seen in my life. Black people poured money into a program for a school and you don't even have it. And you don't need money to start a school. All you need is a space. You can start one out of your own house. Proof of which, one of the young brothers in North Carolina started a school for young boys, right, in his house. See, you don't need money to do it. But it's the biggest trick in the world, right? The love of money is the root of all evil. Isn't that right? Isn't that what the word said? That the love of money is the root of all evil? And I'm not speaking against money. I won't speak against it. God knows I need it. And the white man is trying to stop me from making it. That's the reason why I have to sell things to help my family live every day. Everything I sell literally provide for us every day. This is a fact. And I don't just do it on here. I be out there trying to sell something. I'm trying to sell whatever I have to get knowledge out to our people, but to also get the support. But so money isn't bad. But the love of money is the root of all evil. The love of money is bad. And who teaches you how to love money? The white man. Why, he keeps everything in front of you that's attached to money and wealth and fame and all of that. Because he knows when he get into it, if you get into it, then he got you. Right? And he himself, the white man himself, if he loses everything tomorrow, he'll jump off the highest building. You know him, right? You already know it. He'll jump off the highest building. Right? Because he can't deal with having all that money, then losing it all, right? And coming before the people that he would flaunt and have privilege with. He can't do it. He can't do it. He can't see himself not having any money, right? If he's been wealthy, he'll kill himself first. Proof of which, if you remember the stock market, right? If you remember the falling of the market here recently, some 10 years ago, if you remember in 1985, if you remember in 2021, in 2020, white people were jumping off the Empire State Building. They got that covered now, but they were jumping off other buildings that didn't have any protection on the top. They were jumping off. They were jumping off buildings in Manhattan, New York. They've been doing that for a long time. As a matter of fact, they jumped off the buildings in Manhattan, New York for so long until they blocked the streets off. When somebody was jumped, they just blocked the street off. Yeah, they just block it off and just, somebody's going to jump today. The stock market is bad. They're going to block the street off. Let them go and jump so everybody won't have to see it. Right? Right? It's the truth. It's the truth. Because his theology, the white man's theology, even his Christianity, you have to be wealthy. Isn't that right? You have to be. So brothers and sisters, without further delay, because we got to have our sister to come before us. And I don't know if she's ready, but I would like for her to come before us. And if she's not ready, I know that she'll be coming before us tomorrow. right? I know that she will. So I hope the sister is ready. Are you ready, sister? Are you ready, sister? Well, I guess the sister's not ready. Sister must not be ready. I hope that she is. Let me try again. Are you ready, sister? I don't think the sister's ready. So here's the thing. The white man's theology is wrapped up in his wealth. It's wrapped up in his capitalism. It's wrapped up in it. And you have to understand that. When you understand that his theology is wrapped up in capitalism and wrapped up in his wealth, then you understand that money runs a whole gamut for him. Look, the white man is the one that teaches black people to teach, what is it, what is it, when they teach this Christianity, where people can prosper. I forget what they call it, but their Christianity is all built around money, right? The teaching and all of that attached to the white man is built around money, right? And he'll license and ordain anyone that. That's the truth. It's the truth. If black people will pay for it, the man will license and ordain them, send them to his training, right? Guys that can't even write their own name, calling themselves doctor this and doctor that. It's the truth. It's the truth. Not running the brothers down. I'm just being factual. And the white man will give them, I think his name is Kenneth Copeland. Have you ever heard of Kenneth Copeland? He's a white religious devil. Kenneth Copeland is. And you can pay to have a license ordination to get in this religious fraternity, that's what I'm going to call it, and that will teach you how to mislead people and get money, to make money. But you have to spend money to make money in this religion. And don't the white man tell you in black nationalism, right? We observe the white man in black nationalism. Those that are really living a righteous life to save and help people in the black community can see a fraud whenever we put our eyes on one. Anytime we lay our eyes on one, we can see who a fraud is. That's a fact. So the white man Christianity is centered around money. And they teach a prosperity gospel. That's what I was trying to think of. The white man teaches a prosperity gospel, and then he had the black man. He perverted the black man into preaching this prosperity gospel. They will go, when they were on the plantations, these priests that own plantation, right, and own breweries, wine breweries, priests. What are you looking at me like that for? Priests, white priests, right? They will get black priests. This is with the Catholic Church, and they'll get them and they'll have them preaching this prosperity gospel. They have them preaching it, a prosperity gospel. And I know that's the people looking at me crazy right now. I feel it in my soul. But this is the truth. And they go around act like they're healing people, right? They had to first get you on this Jesus hype. The white Jesus hype. Isn't that right? They had to get you on that hype. And once they got you on that hype, then they can have you to believe, right? And once you believe, they'll have you'll be sort of devoted to act like you've been healed, whether you've been healed or not, right? And that's how you start having people to lay hands on people. Isn't that right? Like Benny Hinn and all of these guys to lay hands on people, and they're laying hands on people, and people acting like they've been healed. Isn't that right? So the black preacher caught on to this game, and he started doing the same thing too. Now, I believe that true religion, true spirituality does heal, right? Because you do it. We raise people from a dead level to a live one. So we're literally raising people from the dead. We give them hope, right? So when they're down in the dumps of depression, which is a mental sickness, we heal them of that mental sickness so that they can stand up in the faith that they can do better. So when they were drunkards, isn't that right? If they're drunkards, they're no longer drunkards. Brothers and sisters, you'll see me repeating myself because the devil is freezing my screen. So I have to repeat myself. So that's the reason why I'm doing it. I should let you know. Those of you that will review this tape, you should know that he's freezing the screens, he's messing me up so that I can hardly get the message out. Same way he's messing with my algorithm. But anyway, so we believe that God heals people from the dead, that he raises the dead, that he raises a man out of his sickness. He healed the alcoholic, right? So he left the alcohol alone. He's not on alcohol anymore, and he can do amazing things. He can perform the miracle of opening up his own business. That's a miracle, right? And this market, when a white man ain't helping you, that's a miracle. Isn't that right? He can perform the miracle of going to get someone else that was in the same situation he was in and changing their life around. And when you got two people working together in the same business, then they're able to serve more people. Isn't that right? No matter what business they have, what store they have, what clinic, what hospital, or whatever, you get it, right? And so we have a do for self mentality to raise people from the dead, to heal the sick, right? To make the lame walk. People that have given up, just sat down on the curb, can walk, but won't walk, right? Just have given up. The will have crippled them, right? Which is a demonic will. And you can touch them and make them believe and get them up, right? From that lame spirit that they're in, raise them up and make them walk, right? If they're dumb, right? They become so depressed that they just stop speaking to anybody, won't even talk. You can touch them with the finger of God, finger of truth, and encourage them to get up and do something for themselves. And then you find this man talking, and he'll be going on to heal someone else who's too dumb to speak. You understand what I'm saying? There's a logic to this madness. There's a logic to this madness, right? There are people being raised every day. God is still performing miracles with people, regardless of whether they're Christian, whether they're Muslim, whether they're Zoroastrian, whether they're Moors. No matter what they are, God is still healing them. And that's something that you and I have to know, that God is still healing them, right? God is still doing it. But the white man has a prosperity gospel that ain't concerned about healing or nothing else. The only thing that the white man is concerned about is making money, and the only thing that black crooks in the churches and the temples, I said the churches and the Muslim temples, right? Crooks, right? The only thing they're concerned about is making money from the people, sucking them bone dry, and don't give two rat tails about them. Not two rat tails. So brothers and sisters, we got to do better. We got to teach better, right? And teach them that we are victorious. We have the victory. We literally have the victory today. We have it, but we got to actualize it, and we got to move in the faith that we have the victory. We can't listen to the white man and you wonder, well, the white man won't give me a job. The white man won't give you a job. Great. Make a job. Go and see what you can do that other people need and make a job. Brothers and sisters, right? Make a job so that you can change your situation. Nobody can change your situation but you. You're the only one that can change it. And now we have online, so there are many ways that we can do these things. And we need black people supporting black people, right? We need black people supporting black people. We can't make it by ourselves. We can't do it. With that being said, brothers and sisters, we also have watches. We have watches, so if you want to watch, we have it. We have it for you. I'm going to put the link in here. We have some other things too. They recently got on me about the site that I have. They recently got on me about it because I said well, it's for black people, and I said, well, but if any devil want to buy a watch, who am I to stop them? If they want to buy it, they can buy it. They can buy it. Well, why do your watch have to be Mauricelm-Lei? I said, well, the brother that made it did it in honor of me, and how foolish it would be for me to change it. I won't change it. I thank the brother for making the watch and putting my name on it. I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful. It's his way of trying to help, because I've been out here a long time trying to help black people. I've been on this fight. I haven't wavered. Even when my finances got low, I haven't wavered. I believe this, brothers and sisters. I believe what I'm teaching. I believe it because I believe in the philosophy of black nationalism. I believe in black liberation theology. I believe in what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad was teaching when he says the do for self mentality is good for black people. I believe that. And that message is to the black man. The message to the black man. Now you look at Farrakhan, he's letting all of these white Mexicans come in and be over black people. What kind of image is that sending to our brothers and sisters? But he says he's Muslim. He got L. Ron Hubbard, right? Dianetics. Right? Farrakhan teaching Dianetics, the philosophy of a white devil. He bought it, and you got damn Muslims running around talking about Dianetically speaking. Brothers and sisters, don't you know that is an attack straight from the enemy? It's an attack straight from the enemy, and it's horrible. It's horrible. But our brothers and sisters will follow, and that's another thing we got to stop. We got to stop following all of this evil, brothers and sisters. Stop following all of this foolishness. It's not helping us in our community. Today, if you look, the entertainers and the actors, the black actors and the black entertainers are more trouble than any other person in the world. They're literally trying to wipe out a whole genre of black music and black entertainers. Trying to wipe it out. And when you see black people willing to pull any stunt, like Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, I mean, people bought it. I've never seen something so ridiculous in my life. Black people bought it and really believe that Will Smith hit Chris Rock, right? That this was actual. Then they go to talk about the beef that happened. Well, if they've been beefing with one another, then why didn't somebody tell us about it? If they've really been beefing. Why are we just learning about it? They're willing to do anything to keep themselves up. And you gotta know when the white man's behind it. You have black folks acting a fool. When they're at the top of the chain, there's no way Will Smith would put his acting career in jeopardy doing something like that. And there are people like, yeah, man, this is real. Yeah, Will, man, they got tired of that dude, man, talking to Jada. And he wanted to show him what time it was. I'm just shaking my head. So, brothers, you all really believe that was 100% true. And we're in worse shape than I thought. Worse shape than I thought. If you all believe that brother was really committed to hitting his brother on stage in front of all these people. Right? The Oscar normally reprimands the individual. So they say, oh yeah, Will Smith can't attend the Oscars in 10 years. Then they'll come out, you watch it, watch what I tell you. They'll come out and say, well, they made up. All you gotta do is just keep on watching. Something will happen where they'll come out and say, well, they made up. So they're not mad with each other anymore. And Chris Rock wants Will Smith at the Oscars. He doesn't harbor any ill wills. And that says something against him. And they may even set it up where Chris Rock hits Will Smith. And you know that'll be jive. Isn't that right? But they may even set it up. And you know, and here's the crazy thing. Chris Rock brothers seem to go on with it. Right? They get on stage talking all this stuff. Like they're going with it. Like they're going with it. Even Jada gets in on the act, right? She has to. Jada has to, right? Right? Her career has exactly been doing good. Right or wrong? It's in the toilet. But this will be something to help her too. See, when they devise these plans, it is something to help all of them. When they devise these plans, and they gotta keep you going. Because they can keep your mind on that foolishness, you won't think about all the trouble that's happening in the world today. You won't think about it. And if you look, there were mass killings during that incident, and they came up with this idea in the Oscars to throw you in the off. Because when they ain't got no black entertainer that can confuse you, told you. See, they fall in line with the preachers. Handpicked. Isn't that right? Handpicked to do boss's will. To do what the master wants. Isn't that right? And that's a good dog. To do what the master wants. When they can't handpick you, right? And people distraction is getting low, then they come up with another dog and pony show. Right? Come up with it. Right? And these come up with these circuses. And our black brothers and sisters are participating in these circuses. Brothers and sisters, but that was the biggest hoax that I ever seen. The biggest hoax I ever seen, but the white man is controlling it. Because see, black people, they're tending, see, when you say congregation or church, don't be bogged, don't be limited to think that the only time that this philosophy carries weight is when we're inside of the church house or we're inside of the Muslim temple, or wherever we may be, the masjid, wherever we may be, right? Christian temple, wherever it may be. But anytime black folks get together, they have a religious mentality, a religious atmosphere. Isn't that right? And in that religious atmosphere, right, that the white man provided for you and I, that he can bubble or dirty anything. He can bubble or dirty anything. Brothers and sisters, you got to know it. You got to know it. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to have a sister to come before us. And I know that she's busy. But she'll be before us tomorrow. I just learned that she'll be coming before us tomorrow. And when she does come before us, then we're going to be ready, right, to hear what she says. And don't forget, if you've seen some of the earlier shows, the sister have the books that she is putting out, the information that she's putting out. We also have the candy bar. I asked you to cash app us $5 for the clinic, to keep the clinic open, so we can keep our programs open and things of that nature. $5, brothers and sisters. We spend that going to McDonald's. We spend it going to McDonald's. And this candy bar is a good candy bar. I want you to know that. You know if it's coming for us, it's good for you, it's good for the body, and all of that, to let you know. And the wrapper was even designed by the sister. So this candy bar is a great candy bar. I have it to show it tomorrow. And we also have our books out, knowledge that we need for the black community. And brothers and sisters, I can't help but to say, we're never begging, but always tell some brothers and sisters about it. And it's easy. All you have to do is paste the link of the show on somebody else's page or whatever, so they can see exactly what's going on. So they can see and be encouraged. Because we want to definitely encourage black people. And we won't get any encouragement until we continue in the work, because they have to always see us up. You know how it is, brothers and sisters. They got to see us up. And once they see us up so often, then they'll start to read what they're seeing. And we pray, our desire and our prayer is that they will read what they're seeing, so that they'll be able to see what we're talking about, see what we're about, to investigate us. And that's what I want. I want you to certainly investigate so that you can see that the brother is still on track. And there are many trying to attack us. Same way they tried to attack Dr. Khalid Muhammad, there are those that are trying to attack us. But brothers and sisters, we have to stand fast and stand firm in the knowledge today that we teach. But black nationalism means doing something for black people. Black liberation theology, it means preaching about a black Jesus and a black God that created black people to deliver black people from this slump of believing in this white God, this white Jesus. But the white God and the white Jesus is not your friend. You got to learn that. I already know it. The white Jesus and the white God is not your friend, right? And we've got to take the white Jesus off the wall and put black Jesus on the wall. That's what you and I have to do. God has raised us so that we'll be able to do that, be able to fulfill this destiny, be able to fulfill this logic, be able to fulfill this wisdom that God has given to us. Isn't that right? And we understand that there have been black liberation theology been taught the whole time. When you understand what black liberation theology is, you begin to understand that not only did Malcolm X, not only did the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teach black liberation theology, but Minister Martin Luther King Jr. Preached black liberation theology. Stokely Carmichael preached black liberation theology. You begin to understand that Sister Betty X, Sister Coretta King preached black liberation theology, and that there were so many out there that preached this black liberation theology, preached this justice that you and I are supposed to be in, to experience, that the justice that we bring amongst one another, that this justice, this knowledge, this teaching, this faith has been taught the entire time in the black community. And brothers and sisters, God is still calling us to speak this truth, to speak this faith, and to speak this liberated theology, because he needs us to do it. The brothers and sisters once asked the question, does God have hands? Does he have feet? Right? Does God have eyes? He has arms. But God has hands, feet, eyes, and arms. As long as you and I have hand, feet, eyes, and arms, God has hand, feet, eyes, and arms. And brothers and sisters, God is calling us. He's calling you and I to get this message out. It won't get out beyond you and I. It won't get out if you and I don't put it out. So it's time for you and I to put this knowledge out, to put this teaching out, to put this blessing out that God has blessed us with, so that other brothers and sisters will be able to ask, what must I do to be saved? What can I do for myself? How can I deliver myself from this bondage that I'm in. And so, brothers and sisters, God has called us, right? I said God has called us to be delivered in this time that we're in. He's called us. God has called us. Nobody but God can call us to do the work that you and I are doing today. Only a God can do that, and God is calling us today to do that. So I encourage you, brothers and sisters, if you're not interested in a book, which I pray that you are, because it shows the knowledge and the training and the research that we've done under Dr. Khalid Muhammad, along with Dr. Steve Coakley, and me myself doing it by myself at the loss of my brothers, the loss of those that I do love, being able to put the same thing out, and I'm catching hell every which way it goes. I'm catching hell. So I ask you to spread this around so brothers and sisters can see what we're doing and be able to bless us. I can't wait to get through these 30 days, because once we get through these 30 days, then August, which is just right around the corner, we'll be meeting 3 times a week, and we'll be talking about the same thing and building up structure within the black community. Don't forget, if you want to learn about life coaching, right? If you want to be a life coach, that you can learn how to be a life coach, that we license and ordain you, license and ordain you. we give you a certificate. We give you a certificate of training to be a life coach. So you go to our training to be a life coach, and you're able to see and counsel people legitimately and be attached to a license, and you can work on a 1099, helping our people in the community, in the black community. That will provide jobs for you, jobs for all of us. If you want to work from home, we have a program where you can work from home. So you can literally submit your resume and work from home, where you're able to see people on the web, take certain contracts with certain companies. You're able to work from home, and you do those jobs by yourself. You receive that money inside of your bank account, and it's based on how many people that you will see every day. And it's good competitive pay, because some of the highest and top pays are $15, and some of the lowest pays are probably about $12, if I make no mistake. So it's something that you definitely want to look into, and the sisters put that information up for you to be able to go and research that. I'm sure she's talking about it. My brothers and sisters, we certainly are thankful. I'm thankful for the pillars of the show. I'm thankful that you all come on the show and help and always deal with us. I'm thankful for that, because we couldn't do it without you. We certainly can't do it without you. And ask you to continue to just be encouraged and to get the information out so that other people can find the same knowledge, because we need to be talking about black nationalism, which is a great part of black liberation theology, and doing something for ourselves and seeing ourselves in everything that we produce. Brothers and sisters, we've got to do that. The white man is not going to do it for us. He's going to continue to make our situation worse. He's going to continue to make it worse. And as you can see, we've been fighting and working a long time. So we'll continue to fight and continue to work a long time till we get this truth out. And we want you to help getting the truth out, brothers and sisters, by talking to your loved ones that you're sitting with every day. Individuals outside that you talk with. Just give them the link to the show and let them hear this truth, and tell them to be encouraged to donate to this truth. And I'll continue to preach the truth no matter what. Brothers and sisters, I'm going to continue to do that, and ask you to continue to support us by just showing your face. Put in comments in the comment section, and just giving us knowledge that something we may not have brought up that you can bring up, so that we'll be able to be effective for the people. So brothers and sisters, I've done that. I put out this knowledge. I put out this information for today, and I'm not going to hold you long, because it's definitely come up to the time where we have to go. But nonetheless, I'm always with you. I may be gone from you, but I'm always with you, because all of us are standing together. All of us are standing together, brothers and sisters. And we'll continue to stand together and do the work of God. Continue to stand together and do the work of God. There's no way for me to do what I'm doing without you, right? And I need you in everything that I do. Everything that I do. And you need me in everything that you do. You have to understand that. Only the devil, right? Only the devil will make you believe that you can do everything on your own. You can't do it. I don't know one person that can do everything on their own. Everybody that I know need help. Everybody that I know need help. So this black liberation theology is what we need. Black liberation theology. We don't need white liberation theology. Black liberation theology is what we need. And if we have that, brothers and sisters, then we are ready to battle. But you can't fight the enemy without any knowledge of self. without any knowledge of who you were before you came here, before the white man caught you and put you in chains. Who were you? And if you know your name, then what was your language? When you spoke your language, what did your language mean? Right? Where did it come from? What is the origin of their language? And once you understood that, then you have to ask the question, what was your country? What was your country men like? What did your country promote? See, brothers and sisters, there's a lot of intelligence, a lot of teaching that we're missing. So much teaching that we're missing, and we don't have it. We don't have it because we have been duped, we've been hoodwinked, we've been led astray, bamboozled, run amok, told and tied and told, hung and drugged. You and I have been done that way, brothers and sisters. And it's time for us now to raise out of the grave. We got to raise out of Lazarus' grave. We got to raise out of the grave. You and I have to raise out of the grave. We've been in the grave too long. We've been in it much, much too long. We've been under white nationalism and white liberation theology too long. And if you liberate the white man, continue to liberate the white man, the only thing that it does is keep you in bondage. That's all I'm saying to you, brothers and sisters, that it keep you in bondage. The black liberation theology is what the black man needs. Is what the black man needs, right? We're not concerned with what the white man needs, right? But we're concerned with what the black man needs. And brothers and sisters, when we get this knowledge, we'll get this truth, and it's going before us. And you're going to find it, brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters are going to be looking once Farrakhan dies and once all these agents are taken out, and God's going to remove. God's going to remove, right? God is going to do that, and you'll see the minute that God removes them, then you'll begin to see a great amount of people coming back to the Muslim temple, coming back to the black Christian churches, coming back to black Christian nationalism, coming to black nationalism, coming to black liberation theology to learn the truth of what they need to do and what they must do to be saved. Saved physically, saved spiritually, saved mentally, saved socially. Isn't that right? Saved biologically. Because you must agree that all of us are off point, we're off the track. In this day and time that we're off the track, and the devil has us off the track, and only the most honorable Elijah Muhammad can bring us the truth that will awaken us and quicken us today to grab the truth, brothers and sisters, that will save our community. Save our community. And still today, you still have people that don't believe that what you do for yourself is the only thing that's going to last. So, brothers and sisters, I'm thankful to come before you. I'm thankful to put out this knowledge to the black man in front of you so you would have this truth. I'm so thankful, brothers and sisters. And I love you. I love you with all my heart. With all my heart, with all my mind, with all my soul, with all my strength. I love you, brothers and sisters. I love you so much you just can't do anything about it. I love you that much that I'm willing to sacrifice my life. My wife loves you that much. The sister loves you that much, and she's willing to put her life on the line. That I'll be able to continue to teach this knowledge beyond all threats, beyond all death attempts, right? That we can teach this knowledge and get the truth out to you, right? Because it's worth standing for to see the black community to rise again. And that's what God is causing us to do. So, brothers and sisters, with that being said, I salute you. I salute you, and I thank you for showing up, right? And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at the same time. May the grace of our Lord, the sweet communion of the Holy Spirit, rest, rule, and abide with us now, henceforth, and forever. I say unto you, as I said in the beginning, peace be unto you, and assalamu alaikum.